All right, let's go over something today. We're gonna do scrapes. So it is second, third week in June. I'd like to get my new scrapes out now. I use a hemp rope scrape for most of my setups, and I find it's best to get them out, let your scent get off them. I try to use gloves as much as I can so I don't leave human scent. But this is just kind of what it is. I'm not gonna touch it because I don't have my gloves on. Just a hemp rope, 2-3 feet long. Cut it down. I use a paracord to tie it up. I have two branches right here tied together in order to hang it straight on this trail that comes through the marsh that these deer use. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to them. I have a knot towards the bottom. Like I said, I'll use my hodag scent. It'll drip down, gather up right there. Have the frayed bottom. This time of the year, in most cases, what I like to do is have it just over hip height. Ideally, I want it about mid-stomach where it lays. So once these leaves start falling off this tree, it'll raise a little bit, but not enough where it's outside of that deer. You don't want to hang it too high right off the bat, because as that branch raises, it's harder for those deer to hit it. Your bucks and some of your bigger does may still hit it. I've seen them get up on their hind legs and hit it. But ideally with these, I want every deer to use it. Fawns, bucks, does, young bucks, does, it doesn't matter to me. I want everything to use it. So I have it tied up top, secured, so this won't go anywhere. Zip tie at the bottom, so once that fraying starts to come out, it doesn't go all the way up, cause issues with the knot. I've seen videos of other people using them where they'll actually chew those bottoms off. I haven't had that happen, but it really honestly doesn't surprise me. So yeah, I mean, it's a super simple setup, nothing to it. I got 50 foot of hemp rope, 100 foot of paracord, and this should be enough for me to do the 3 or 4 farms that I need to do this year. Now let's go over where I'm putting them. So I'll give you a few examples. So this one is a trail that connects to the conjoining ridge line. They bed up on top of that ridge. They funnel through here to get to the ag fields out there. Yes, they can go through the marsh. They can go through the knee-deep mud to get all the way to the marsh. They very well can do that. They don't want to, in most cases. A deer will take the path of least resistance. Some of your mature bucks will just go off wind of it, so they could walk. There's a trail that goes right through this marsh, just off it, and I assume that may be bucks. I don't have a camera there, so I can't say for certain. But anyway, I want it on a high traffic area where these deer are crossing. What I also want is I want it near a stand. So if you look over, get lower. There it is, right there. So if you look there, I have a ladder stand right there. It's 20 yards shot from that ladder stand. I want these within shooting range of the ladder stand, or stands in general. Ladder, blind, doesn't really matter. But I want them in range, because ideally that buck's cruising. He's gonna be checking, he'll hit that. And this isn't just a rut situation. This is early season, late season. Deer will come by, smell it. So that's my setup. I'll take you another, kind of explain why we put it where we put it, and we'll keep it moving. All right, so coming up on another one, same stand. I have 2 on this that work with the wind that we hunt this stand. The other one's back behind there on the marsh crossing. Now we're getting out to the fields, the pastures where the deer feed. It eventually leads to ag, but that's a good ways away. So this is kind of a staging area. What we have is a big oak tree that they hit a lot. And then on the outside, you can see the trail that comes around it. They follow these horse pastures. The does will be out in the pastures. The bucks will be working these outside edges looking for does. So it's another good travel corridor. Again, you want it low enough where even if it raises a few inches, you're still not going to be out of the game. It's very important not to put them too high. You'll still get some action, but you won't get the full result. What I did with this one, because I'm not 100% sure how much it's gonna raise, I left some excess. So if throughout the season I need to put gloves on, raise it up, I can do so. Again, stands right there, hidden in that poplar. It's maybe 15-yard shot. Ideally, the deer comes down the fence, is perfectly broadside to offer a good shot. So that's number two. It's not uncommon for me to use multiple on a single one if it makes sense. And we have a Moultrie Mobile right there overlooking it, Moultrie Edge, so we can keep an eye on it throughout the summer. I have not added scent. I have more scent coming in. I will probably add that mid-July, early August. I've already got videos of them starting to use it without scent, so I'm not too worried. The scent will help enhance it, but it's not 100% needed in my opinion. So, but yeah, nice little bow stand over a ladder stand hidden back there. So hopefully we get some videos on this during hunting season for you. So let's head to the next scrape. All right, this next one we have on this fence line coming from the stand we just showed you right here. The stand is going in that multiple trunk tree right there. It has not been put up yet. We had a ladder stand there. We're switching that to a lock on to get us a little more height. So yeah, again, all these scrapes are in line to influence the movement that we want. And what I mean by that is we're not just out here throwing, ignore the crows, we're not just throwing scrapes up without a purpose. We're not just throwing stands up without a purpose. All of these stands are designed to work with each other for certain winds, certain conditions, whatever it may be. It's very important. Yes, you can get some positive results just doing improvement. You'll get much better results if you have a design plan suited for your land and your needs. So that's why I preach having someone like myself, a consultant, come out, maybe another consultant with the experience, have them draw up a plan, go in it with a plan. You will have much better results with a plan. Like I said, we offer our services. There's plenty of other great people out there that may be better suited for your area. A guy down in Florida, I'm not your guy. I don't know Florida. I don't know that kind of environment. I know marsh, but not to the extent where you're dealing with alligators and stuff like that. I specialize in small properties and ag country. I do some work in mountains, and I can take those fundamentals in other areas, but that's not to say there's not a better consultant for you. That's why I interview anyone before we do consultant visits, so I can make sure that I'm the right fit for you, so just so you get the best bang for your buck. But it's enough advertisement of that. So that one is hung again. This one is, I know this branch is going to move. No leaves. It's been trimmed by the tree trimmers. This isn't going to move. It's slightly higher, but still about waist to mid stomach. So get it right in the middle of that trail so that any deer that comes down that is forced to check that out. So you want to make sure they have to hit it. You want them using it. It doesn't do you any good if deer don't hit it. So, all right, see you on the next. All right, so we got one on this creek bottom. So you can see I left plenty of excess just in case it needs to adjust. These leaves will fall off. I just don't know to what extent they'll raise. Again, it's about waist level. So even if it doesn't raise a ton, it's still in a good position. And we're running, they have a trail that runs up and down this creek. Goes there, they zigzag through this creek, especially during the rut, chasing this up and down. This wasn't sand before. We had some massive rainstorms and washed out the upper layer, so now we have a nice little sand bank here. Don't think that'll affect them too much. It won't hurt. So this leads up to a trail. You can kind of see the rise that goes up, funnels up there, and right there is the last scrape we showed, or the last rope scrape we showed you. Tree stand will be right there. Wind blowing that way, they'll run that parallel, and the wind it's designed for will work perfect. So again, they're coming from there, boom, around, through. kind of block this off. They used to cross there, drop those trees to kind of discourage them from going that way. Now when they come through broadside, perfect shot, 15-yard shot. I like that 15 to 20-yard shot. I'm not a huge fan of anything over 30, and not a huge fan of tree stands less than 10 yards. I've done it, don't get me wrong. I've shot plenty of deer that close. I just have a little bit of room between me and the deer for noise, and so forth. We did have a buck this year, broken 8, really nice deer, mature deer, probably 4.5-year-old deer. Day after our second trip, we were hunting here. Emma was in this stand when it was a ladder stand. Came right in, hit another mock scrape I had here that didn't 100% work out. It was a vine scrape. The deer were using it. He was hitting it mid-draw. We guess some mud from the second trip got into the cam, caused a very loud squeak. From there, it pinpointed her. Never really ran, but looked up, and the stand was so low and the cover was sparse that we believe it knew something was wrong. So didn't end up killing it, but a good encounter. So now we got this. We're gonna have the taller stand there, more so in the cover. It should be a deadly combo. So, all right, let's head to the next. All right, so this one, we're right off a marsh. The deer tend to, you can see the trails come right through there. They follow this old cattle fence and go up to the field. We had a blind there last year that was pretty good. This year I'm hiding a ladder stand up in those cluster of trees right at the field edge. Can sneak in, play our wind well, look over top of this marsh. So the deer will naturally come out of this bottom, hit this on their way through. I'll be able to shoot them as they come to it, as they leave it, and that blind will be going. And this will all be planted. This is just rye that I left here standing kind of for the turkeys and the fawns. It's all kind of fallen over in the last storm, but it's done its purpose for now. So yeah, again, running on transition, right where they're gonna hit their nose on it as they follow their natural trail along it. And we're gonna put the mulch edge up, overlooking it, so we'll be able to see everything that goes down. So I've always been a firm believer in scrapes, but kind of the way I've hunted them has changed over the years. I used to use every scent in the book. I use these stupid little drips that are junk. I've tried about everything. I fell into all the fads. I did everything to try to give myself an advantage, but what I was really doing was not falling for it, because I'm sure they work in certain senses, but I fell for the marketing. But the deer weren't falling for it. So, oh, sorry, I got something in my eye. Anyway, what I found is this is the best way that works for me. Low maintenance. I'll come in here, kind of weed whack around it, kick up that dirt. That way it's wide open, the grass isn't taking it over it. I'll put some scent on those ropes, and then I won't touch them the rest of the year. After I have one established, I might not touch it the following year unless it needs some adjustments. The idea is not to have to touch them at all. The reason I went to cell cams, I don't want to be in these woods checking these SD cards. I want my presence as little as possible. And that's kind of the mindset I go in with it. But I'm gonna find a spot to get that mulch tree hidden, because I don't want it in the wide open so the deer don't pick it out. I do feel like mature bucks pick out cameras, but that's a topic for another day. So I'm gonna find somewhere to get screwed in, pretty high probably, overlooking it, and we'll move on to the next. All right, so another one of these mock scrapes. We got a transition out of bedding in the back. It funnels around right here to this pinch point. The deer come out here. We have standing horn. Goes all the way around there. There's a break for the waterway, and then it continues around to the other side. We have a box stand over there, over top of clover plot where the corn meets. So right here, there's a stand hidden. You can't really see it. It's right about that corner. Maybe it's that. No, that far corner on the outside right there. Can shoot this through a gap, can shoot the trail going to it. Again, it's about waist high, so everything can use it. But yeah, fence line edge. I trimmed all these branches back, so it's the only available around. It'll catch a visual on the outside of the woods, so it'll bring in any deer that comes to cruise this corn. We are going to have a ground blind probably tucked in somewhere in this standing corn on the top side, so we can play the wind and blow it out over towards that brush pile. So there'll be a ground blind hidden somewhere in there. Corn's coming up pretty good. It's the first year there's ever been corn here, so we'll see how that goes. Still have to do some cutting work back in there, and that'll be done within the week. But yeah, so right on the edge like that, boom. Can watch it from a set point up on top of that hill. Early season, good to go. We got one more to look at, and then we are done for the day. I think there's on this property, there's a total of 14 scrapes. We're not going to show them all, but they're out there. So on to the next. All right, so we have our last one over this clover plot. You can see we have corn planted on the outside. Once that grows up, it'll block our access into there. We also have hay bale blinds in front of it to help with that. So beautiful clover plot. And you can see I have a hodag system that did have a branch on it. I switched it and converted it over to a rope scrape because we were having better luck on this property with that. So that'll be, it's right in the middle of the, well, pretty much the middle of the clover patch. It gives the visual appeal to every deer that walks by. And we have the mulch removable looking over top of it. So yeah, really excited about this. It's got everything. It's got early season clover, corn, grain for late season. I'm gonna come through later on in the year and sprinkle a blend of seed all throughout this corn. They're spaced enough where they should get enough sun in between it. Really utilize every inch of this property. Tornado went through. There's a bunch of growth in the back, bedding. There's some berries coming up all around this. It's just a nice little mecca for deer. So, and got a killer Maverick blind there. Those things are freaking sweet. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. But yeah, so that's my point of view on rope scrapes. Nothing super complicated. No scent drippers, no having to spend money on different urines and other stuff over and over and over and over. Just super simple. Hang the rope, clear out the bottom. You can put scent on it. I don't think it's 100% necessary, but it doesn't hurt. And let the rest, just let it do its job. That's all there really is to it. It's a super cost-effective way, and it can make a huge difference. It can be the difference from that buck walking a trail out of range, or you putting them smack dab in the middle of you. I mean, it's just that simple. Scrapes are overlooked oftentimes, which is crazy because they can be one of the best tools there is. So, but yeah, if you have any questions on scrapes or any questions on our consulting, feel free to hit me up. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you can find me. We are at yellowdogoutfitters.com. That'll also have all of our contact information, and we'll go from there. Let's get you ready for season. It's going to be here before we know it. It ain't getting any cooler. So, all right, I'll see you all in the next one.